Welcome to some new I don't work here lady stories, where people get mistaken as employees by irate customers. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Total Grandma Move. Yesterday I went to the arts and crafts store in search of picture frames. While I searched for a pre-cut natural white mat board in my desired size, because the store was grotesquely understaffed and there was a line at the framing counter, I hear a woman ask another for assistance. She was wearing a shirt that matches the employee smocks. The reply was quick and almost rude. I don't work here. And the woman grabbed her card and walked away. I don't know why this attracted my attention. Maybe it was the desperation in the asker's voice. Maybe it was store acoustics that funneled their voices to me. I really don't know. The woman who was looking for help stands for a moment before she uses a seeing impaired cane to walk towards me and the main aisle. I said, "I don't work here, but I can try to help you." She gives a huge sigh and smiles. "I need help finding yarn. I'm making a baby blanket and the colors needed are white or cream, yellow, pink and blue. And I can't see enough to pick them out." "Well, I can definitely help you with that. Can you lend an arm? It's crowded here and I walk faster with a person leading." I laugh. "Well, speed isn't on my menu. I have a walking boot and crutches. If you want, I can lead and you can follow. I, unfortunately, don't have an open arm." She apologized and mentioned she'll find an employee, but I insist it's not a problem. And I've only seen one employee, and they're at the framing counter with a line of people. We figured out all the logistics as we get to the yarn. We share names, and I learned she had her vision until a pair of hands and a foot ago, and that her husband dropped her off while he went to the hardware store. We get to the yarns and start by finding what feel of yarn she wanted. Then I start describing the colors: barley pink, light salmon, cotton candy pink to banana skin yellow and banana flesh yellow. And this is almost an orange pink. I was told I was describing the colors well and gathered the bundles. We finished our shopping together and even checked out one after the other, and she insisted on buying me a chocolate bar as a thank you. Total grandma move right there. The next story is called Karen Got Locked Out. Last night I finished up my shift as an EMT, and it's been a long and tiring one. The calls weren't bad, but there were a lot of them, and we were all over the county. The shift is over. I change back into my comfy clothes and head to the store to get something for dinner. I get there just in time, since they are closing in 10 minutes. I assure the cashier that I was just grabbing something quick, and I go and pick up a lasagna from the frozen section. I grab them and turn to head to the checkout when I hear ahem. Not a throat clearing sound, but someone saying it like they were reading it out loud. Turn and look to see a woman, and she snaps off her, "I need you to go in the back and get me a pack of the frozen pretzels." I say that I don't work here and point out where an employee just went behind an end cap. The woman snaps, "You do work here and you need to stop being lazy and get me my pretzels." I again say, "I don't work here," and turn to walk to the self-check. She flips and storms off, muttering about lazy employees and managers. I finish checking out and I'm grabbing my stuff and leaving when I see her again with her card and a manager. She yells, "There she is! That's the lazy witch," and starts towards me. I'm not even going to engage, and so I hold up my receipt and my one item to the self-check girl and walk out. I hear the manager raising his voice and saying, "Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?" Turns out she left her card behind and stormed out of the store to confront me. I get in my car to drive off, but she's standing in front of it, so I can't go anywhere. She's also giving me a tongue lashing that I'm too checked out to really pay attention to. Great, I'm already on my last nerve, and this woman is making it even worse. The manager sticks his head out of the door and hollers, "Ma'am?" She turns and makes a hushing motion toward him. He hollers, "Ma'am," one more time, and she hollers back, saying, "I'm dealing with your employee, since you are too much of an idiot to do it yourself." He bristles and says, "Madam?" She cuts him off with, "Shut up!" screech at the top of her lungs. He shrugs and I watch him go back inside, fiddle with the locks, flip the sign to closed, and pull down the shades. As I'm watching this, she gets annoyed that I am not paying her my full attention, and she yells, "What the heck are you looking for? That is so important to ignore me." I just pointed at the shop and say, "They just closed and locked the doors." I'm not sure what she screamed since it was pretty incoherent, but she did run toward the door. Seeing my chance, I drove off, leaving her pounding on the door and cursing. The third story is called Almost Arrested. This happened a couple of months ago. To set the scene, I, 19 male, was walking through the supermarket to grab some beers and snacks. I was dressed in a dark blue shirt, so I see why he mistook me for an employee. This middle-aged looking man, dressed like Jerry from Rick and Morty, approached me and demanded I go get him his groceries and shoved his grocery list at me. I tried to say, "I don't work here," but before I could say the word work, he said, "Go do it, or you lazy employee saying the same thing." I hand him his grocery list back and go to walk away when he very aggressively grabs my shoulder and spins me around. While still spinning, I get my palm square on his nose to combat this. The palm wasn't super hard, but he exaggerated it by going back into the shelf, knocking everything over. He screams, "Assault!" and quickly dials 911. Skip to when the cops arrive. He starts immediately saying how when he politely asked for some help, I suddenly got hostile and punched him. The cops look at the camera footage, which unfortunately has no sound. At the angle we were at, it appeared as though he had only tapped me on the shoulder. One of the officers went to put me in handcuffs, as it appeared that I hit him very hard. Luckily, he had squeezed my shoulder hard enough that it left a pretty good mark. I showed this mark, but the officers looked skeptical. I asked them to look closer at where his finger entered the frame, and you could see that he grabbed and spun me around. You could see the color drain from his face as he realized he was screwed. The cops didn't arrest him, unfortunately, but they did chew him out pretty well. After that long encounter, I finally went home and enjoyed some beers with my buds. The last story is called Grow Some Patience. As a security guard, I often have to deal with customers from stores. Normally, it's to get them to leave if they are doing something the store doesn't like. But on this one day, I got to tell off an impatient Karen at Ross. I was stationed as security for a shopping center. As part of my rounds, when I would first clock in, I would check in with the Ross, as I was always called in to help them with stopping someone from stealing. On this particular day, the store was packed. I was talking to the loss prevention person stationed at the door, checking in to see what manager was in charge for the night and seeing how the store had been so far. Out of the corner of my eye, I see two ladies standing at the jewelry counter, waiting to be helped and glaring at us. The loss prevention guy informs me that he had already called someone to help them, but they just hadn't gotten there yet as it was slammed, and all hands were needed to ring customers out as the line was almost out the door long. As we are finishing up our talk, which was only maybe 3 minutes at most, I turn to walk out the door to finish my rounds when Karen suddenly yells towards me, "Excuse me, I need some help here," in a very rude tone. Not missing a beat, I turn around and look at her. "Ma'am, he already called someone for you. As you can see, they are swamped and the line is long. Maybe you should grow some patience and learn to wait your turn." I then walked out of the store with the biggest smile on my face and my inner customer service rep clapping at finally being able to tell our Karen off. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.